Hello and welcome to For the Love of Email Thursdays, Reimagining the Future of Email with AMP for Email, episode 2 in our series. My name is Nick Einstein. I'm Vice President of Product Marketing in NetCore Cloud. If you need to reach me, have any questions about the content here, feel free to hit me up on email, nicholas.einstein@NetCore Cloud. And if you missed episode 1 in the series, I'd suggest you go back and watch it. It was a great episode, co-hosted by Matt Bernhout. And we dug into introduction on AMP for Email. A quick refresher here if you did miss it. AMP for Email is a revolution in the inbox experience. It brings a whole new world of interactivity to the inbox. It's another MIME type. So when you're loading up HTML and text, if you're loading up text emails, you load up AMP for Email right alongside that. Your vendor needs to support it, your ESP needs to support it, and you need to have some expertise in building and executing these campaigns. But it, in effect, brings the web experience, the app experience, the landing page right into the inbox itself. It, again, is a revolutionary technology from my perspective, and many use cases, and we'll dig into some of them today, can deliver significant lifts in business outcomes. We see 5 to 27x lift in many core business metrics based on AMP for Emails. I'll tell you, not everyone in the space is as enthusiastic about AMP for Email as I am and some of my colleagues are at NetCore. Certainly, Anthony here is, and he shares my enthusiasm around it being kind of really the next big thing from my perspective since HTML hit the inbox. Marcel Becker at Yahoo agrees and acknowledges it's really a new world of interactivity coming to the inbox with AMP for Email. And Eric here too. L represents a big hunk of the audience who's kind of waiting to see here, and I hope in the next 20 minutes or so we'll have some proof points and some use cases that may help to get you excited about AMP for Email. I'll tell you, we all know that interactivity it drives engagement and is effective. I'm going to make a case that AMP for Email is a big vehicle to drive that interactivity in the inbox. A little quick history lesson. As AMP for Email first came out, early adopters did see a nice lift in many key metrics. Booking.com, Pinterest, Redbus, some of the early adopters saw a nice bump from AMP for Email in those addressable audiences, those audiences not in Apple Mail, not opening up messages in Apple clients, those in Gmail, Yahoo, or on Android devices, those who can see AMP-enabled messages. And Google themselves, one of the biggest adopters of AMP for Email technology, big lifts in their comment reply rate and usage of key features in Google Docs that happen right in the email themselves. I'm sure many of us have used AMP for Email, engaged with AMP for Email through our Google accounts. It's a core use case. In the emerging markets, AMP for Email is gaining momentum like crazy, really gaining steam. In the emerging markets, Google dominates. Android dominates, and the Apple headwinds, again, Apple Mail client and Apple Mail itself are not big, don't have big market share. And so much of the audience in emerging markets is addressable for AMP for Email. And in these markets, we are seeing enormous uptick in core business KPIs as a result of removing the friction from the inbox experience, bringing the web, the landing page, the app experience directly into the inbox, and removing that friction is proving to create some significant benefits. And we are seeing a big evolution in AMP. At the beginning, AMP was kind of used as a complement, as kind of a shiny object in several message streams, image carousels and the like. We are now seeing AMP really drive in channel conversions. It used to be tough to build AMP emails. Not everyone was supporting them, and even vendors who did support them didn't have a lot of templates. They didn't have the people, process, and the technology to really support AMP. Now, many vendors, Netcore included, and others, are providing templates to enable marketers to really get out there and launch these campaigns in a templatized manner. It used to take a long time to launch these campaigns. Now we can turn them much more quickly based on established process. Again, not all ESPs still support AMP, but several do, and Netcore Cloud being one of them. And those who do are now supporting it more. They're supporting it with again, some process, some people, and as well as technology. Some of the early use cases were pretty simple, and now we are seeing brands across business verticals really execute sophisticated use cases that are driving, again, significant business outcomes. In many cases, upwards of 16x, which is a significant lift. And even if in the Americas, it's only 20% of your audience, 30, 40% of the audience addressable from AMP for email, if we're generating 16x lift in core metrics, conversion metrics, down funnel metrics, lead gen forms, data collection, zero-party data, we can make meaningful impacts on our programs. I think there are three forces that are driving AMP towards a tipping point right now. One, two-way communication. We have use cases we're enabling within email chat, where we can literally chat with an agent in the inbox and resolve any issues we may be having. Personalization, real-time data, the ability to truly personalize messages based on not only demographic and profile data, but contextual data that's highly relevant at the moments that matter most. And then driving a totally new inbox experience. AMP for email is a totally new inbox experience that gives brands the edge on innovation. Those who are leveraging it and beginning to leverage it in a sophisticated manner can really gain an edge on the competition by doing so. Interestingly, these two-way communication, personalization, innovation are three forces that have driven WhatsApp's widespread adoption, especially in the emerging markets and now in the developing markets too. I will tell you, there are several innovations now that are driving AMP into the next era, and let's just dig into those quickly. One, facilitating payments in the message itself. So currently we can bring a lot of down funnel conversions into the message itself with AMP for email, and very soon we're bringing payments themselves into the message so that we can actually convert and confirm and facilitate and complete transactions in the message itself, reducing significant friction. We know as sophisticated digital marketers, there's a lot of drop off and a lot of friction when we go through click-throughs. When everything can happen in the message itself through personalized digital experiences, we can drive significant lifts in actual conversions and purchases. In the past, many people who've tested AMPs AMP messages have tested kind of use cases, carousels, and obviously I didn't hit on the top, and in the previous episode we did, but there's always a fallback. So if there isn't a client, a user who can accept an AMP enable message, they're going to get a fallback. But nowadays we can amplify every single message, and whether it's lead gen forms, carousels, rating and reviews, we can have messages with ratings and reviews, and messages without data collection. And the opportunity is really limitless as one's imagination to amplify virtually every message we're sending. And many brands currently we're working with at Netcore do. The email footer is an area that's often underutilized. We all have our footers. They are relatively static. What if we could put offers that are gamified? What if we could put real-time updates, search bars, chat bots, interactive calendars right in the email footer itself, providing those users who can interact with AMP enable messages a much richer experience, again, amplifying virtually every message and driving downstream metrics. Transactional messages, email verification, password verification, resets, multi-step verification can all happen for a large hunk of our audiences in the message itself. Again, it is a really positive user experience, and can help users through these issues in a seamless manner. When we amplify a message, we can integrate with virtually any external data sources. We can live polling, AR, augmented reality, live status of flights, travel bookings, stock quotes, weather. All of these sources of data can be updated in real time through APIs in the inbox itself, making really one's imagination the limit. So currently at Netcore, we see top 4 industries benefiting from AMP at the moment: e-commerce, retail, tons of use cases there; media publishing, sweet spot; travel, hospitality; banking, financial services; insurance. And let's dig into, just for a minute here, some of these use cases that are driving these business outcomes. General use cases across virtually all those business verticals: zero-party data collection, 200% higher form submissions when you're making it happen in the message itself. Ratings and reviews, significant lift in responses on ratings and reviews when you can do it in the message itself, as opposed to going through to a landing page and executing there. A great use case, simple, super effective. Gamified offers, 183% higher engagement when we're gamifying offers. Gamification works. Many of us marketers know this, by exposing users to the games in the message themselves. We have some great ones. Hit me up at nicholaseinstein.einstein@netcore.com if you want to see some great ones. I'd be happy to send them to your Gmail address or your Yahoo address. Image carousels, driving clicks, driving conversions right in the message themselves. E-commerce specific. E-commerce, again, a big user of AMP for email, especially in the emerging markets. Cart recovery happening in the message itself. Product search, the ability to search a catalog and execute product discovery tasks in the message itself. Great use case. Media publishing, absolutely low-hanging fruit from my perspective here. Subscription renewal, any sort of subscription business. Subscription renewal is happening in the message themselves. Easy click, no-brainer, driving upwards of 10x lift in renewals. And event registrations, signing up for a webinar. This is a great use case. This is on netcorecloud.com too, with your story. 16x lift in webinar registrations, event registrations over the non-AMP message. A great use case. Travel, hospitality, some of the cooler ones from my perspective. Flight search, reservations, check-in, seat selection. We at Netcore work with Redbus and others on some excellent use cases. Generating data, travel hospitality is a great use case, just zero-party data, but some excellent interactive experiences that we can enable in the inbox itself, no click through, much more positive user experiences. Financial services, great use cases, calculators, interactive chatbots. I mentioned we can enable two-way communications in the message itself for high consideration purchases, financial services, areas where we're looking to engage with customers in a dialogue, providing them tools and ultimately two-way communication in the message. So thanks for joining us today. If you missed last episode, please go back, check that one out. And I'm very much looking forward to our next episode, where I'm going to be joined by Matthew Harris from Dispatch. We're going to talk about some exciting use cases that they're generating at Dispatch and some of the more exciting ones we're generating here at Netcore Cloud. Again, AMP for Email is the future of email. Look forward to discussing it further with you. We're going to be running these series directly through the new year. Tune in every other Thursday. Looking forward to seeing you next 2 Thursdays from now. Wishing you all the best.